Welcome to the PTI special, boys and girls. Over the next half hour, Wilbon and I will reveal the nominees in some of the biggest categories and tell you who we think deserve what I firmly believe to be one of the awards in sports. And let's start with the award I would give to the Northwestern football team every time it loses. Best moment.
10 games there.
The nominees are the Vikings beating the Saints on Stephon Diggs' last-second catch and sprint for a touchdown. Notre Dame beating Mississippi State at the buzzer to win the NCAA tournament. My Vegas Golden Knights beating the Winnipeg Jets to make the Stanley Cup Finals, where they got wiped by my Washington Capitals. And finally, 16th seed UMBC upsetting overall #1 Virginia in the first round of the NCAA tournament. All great moments, Mike. Which was best?
Not close. UMBC winning. And by the way, that's the second greatest upset in college basketball history as far as I'm concerned.
I think it's first.
Virginia being on the end of the other one because they lost to an NAIA team in Hawaii named Chaminade. These aren't close, but UMBC, Tony, and they won that game by 20 points.
Yeah, UMBC from the America East, home of the Binghamton team, right? The great Binghamton Bearcats. Let me say this. The Stephon Diggs play is a remarkable play because the DB whiffs on the play. This cannot happen. It's the last play of the game.
We saw you seen it. You saw Flutie to whoever that was.
That was a different play. Nobody whiffed on it in the same way. The DB just has to grab him, stay in bounds, knock him down. It's the last play of the game.
Look, there's certainly a large mistake there. But how about the series of mistakes that Virginia had to make and finally overwhelmed and terrified in that game? You could see it. Kids were shooting air balls. Kids who had earned the #1 seed in the tournament. And by the way, 135 times, I believe, the number 16
I'm
seed.
I'm going to disagree with you, and I know that you were there for Chaminade, Virginia.
I was.
I think this is the biggest upset in the history of college basketball.
They were NCAA school. Chaminade to NAIA school.
Yeah.
Come on now.
An NAIA school can beat some low D1 schools.
How about that? Tony's Washington Nationals have never qualified for our next category, Best Championship Performance. The nominees are World Series MVP George Springer of the Houston Astros, Super Bowl MVP Nick Foles of the Philadelphia Eagles, Kevin Durant of the Golden State Warriors, and the most outstanding player of the Final Four, Villanova's Dante DiVincenzo. Who should take home the 10?
The only one I'm going to eliminate right away is Kevin Durant because I think he was better last year, and I don't, I'm going to eliminate him. Springer was great. He had 5 home runs in the World Series. He had 4 in consecutive games. But for me, it's between Foles and DiVincenzo, both Philadelphia athletes. Foles was 28 of 43 for 373 yards, 3 touchdowns passing and 1 receiving. And to me, that's ding, ding, ding. It's right there.
You know, these are all pretty worthy nominees. I mean, these are all, big time, obviously, championship moments, championship performances. But I'm going to go with Foles as well. I like to tweet the Eagles when I can because I get tired of all the whining about how long it has been since Philadelphia had won.
Since they won football.
Foles to do this,
second-string quarterback,
thrown out by the Eagles previously earlier in his career after a great season, to do that, Tony, and then to have the calm. I think that's the most impressive part, the impressive trait of that performance.
As Bill Murray said, it's a Cinderella story. I mean, it really is. Now, DiVincenzo, off the bench with 31 is a miraculous moment. But what Foles did, they were the underdogs in every one of those games. He's a second-string guy. I mean, that's undeniable to me.
He's been a first-string guy. Let's not make him...
He was a first-string guy there for a little while, but then he was exiled. He was exiled. Come on.
You just dismissed Kevin Durant like he was some scrub.
You know what? He's a great player and he's unstoppable. It's not his award this year. Okay. Our next award celebrates youth and vitality, and so it's appropriate that I am introducing Best Breakthrough Athlete. The nominees are Saints running back Alvin Kamara, the NFL's Offensive Rookie of the Year, NBA Rookie of the Year Ben Simmons of the 76ers, the guy he beefed with over that award, Donovan Mitchell of the Jazz, and in tennis, U.S. Open winner and French Open runner-up Sloane Stephens. Who would you hand the ESPY to, Mike?
This is such a contradiction. I have a vote in those NBA regular season awards, and for Rookie of the Year, I voted for Ben Simmons. Now we have this category,
He's not a real rookie.
This category, I'm going to choose Donovan Mitchell.
He's not a real rookie.
The Ben Simmons Award was for the regular season. It's just like everything. All of those awards pertain to the regular season. Donovan Mitchell on a team that no one thought anything of coming into the postseason, much less starting back in the regular season, Donovan Mitchell was fabulous in the playoffs, Tony, and we can count the playoffs now, even if we couldn't in those previous awards. Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah, I think Kamara had a spectacular season. He averaged 6.1 yards rushing the ball. He had 1,000,000 yards catch. He had 14 touchdowns. He's a rookie. That's a great thing. I would give this award to Sloane Stephens, even though it's a fairly advanced age for best breakthrough.
25 years old.
But what we've seen in the United States, please correct me if I'm wrong, is that Serena Williams has dominated women's tennis for so long. For somebody to come along, even if Serena couldn't play.
Wow, to say Serena
even if she couldn't play.
Serena was out
for somebody to come along when there's a little bit of light on the rail like that, and when you win the U.S. Open, your national tournament, and you finish second event, she's at two different surfaces, I'm going to give it to her.
And it's fine to give it to Sloane Stephens, who earns it just off that. But then Sloane Stephens, disappeared for months. Didn't win a match for months. And so breakthrough usually means you stay out there. Now, we haven't, Donovan Mitchell hasn't had a second season yet.
She's got that.
On to the award Binghamton will never win. Best college.
Yes,
I'm sorry. I misread that. Best college athlete, and the nominees are Oklahoma quarterback Baker Mayfield, Villanova guard Jalen Brunson, Stanford swimmer Katie Ledecky, and South Carolina basketball star Asia Wilson. Tony, who gets the ESPY?
We love Katie Ledecky. She's local for us. I know she was great at Stanford. I don't even think of her as a college athlete. I think of her as an Olympic athlete.
That's how great she is. She has lapped literally in the pool the college athletes. How can you go against Katie Ledecky?
Because I'm going to go for Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield's off-field stuff so overshadowed his on-field performances. And I know he won the Heisman, but I didn't know until a little while ago. He threw 41 touchdown passes and
almost
5
no picks.
interceptions.
It's 2 years in a row where he had numbers like that.
These are stunning. I don't know how he's going to do with the Browns. These are stunning numbers in college.
I think part of the reason people sort of dismiss Katie Ledecky is she's already grander than a college athlete.
Yes.
She's an Olympic champion, a multiple-time Olympic champion. But, Tony, when you beat the world like that and you care enough to come back home and lead your school to a couple of championships, I think there's credit in that. There's honor in that. And so I'm going to stay with Katie Ledecky, even though she's gone so far beyond the college
and turned pro. And
turned pro now, yes.
Let me just mention something about Jalen Brunson. Because he's an overlooked player, because he's not the fastest guy out there, he's not the flashiest guy out there, the Villanova team was so great mainly because of him. Because he is a leader. He is a floor leader. He made all the right decisions all the right times. And he's got to get some light.
Overlooked until he starts having impact in the pros, and he won't be overlooked.
Our next award is the one I would have won multiple times if I hadn't fallen in love with writing. Best male athlete.
I keep telling you.
The nominees are American League MVP Jose Altuve of the Houston Astros. Also from Houston, NBA MVP James Harden. Stanley Cup playoff MVP Alexander Ovechkin of my Washington Capitals, and the guy people always say I look like, NFL MVP Tom Brady. Mike, who deserves the ESPY for best male athlete?
Tony, you could pick Tom Brady every year for about most of the last 20 years. But I'm not going to say Brady this year because his team didn't win. And again, at this point, we are including postseason play in most of these discussions. And so I know you're going to go with Ovechkin, and that's fine, a very worthy pick. I'm going to go with Altuve on a team, Tony, that not only did they win the championship and just light people up, winning their division by 21 games, and Altuve was the leader of all that.
Yeah,
but now they've sort of confirmed it, if you will, by coming into the next season and just being on a tear again. The Astros.
Is that fair? Is that fair to count this year?
It's probably not fair.
No, I don't think that's fair.
Altuve.
So I'm going to eliminate Harden and Brady because they didn't win.
Okay.
And if you've got two guys in here who did win,
you gotta look at
so for me, it's between Altuve and Ovechkin. And in Ovechkin's case, being so far behind in all the big categories, Sidney Crosby all the time, the Olympics and the World Cup and the Stanley Cup, to go through Pittsburgh the way the Washington Capitals did, for Ovechkin to score a lot of goals and also block shots and be a real, this is an undeniable year for Alexander Ovechkin. This is the one that certifies not just having scoring titles, winning the Stanley Cup is so important. So I'm going to vote for him.
Argument for Ovechkin too. He was great in the games that mattered most when he had not done that earlier in his career.
That's right.
He did it this time. So
big win.
A nod to Ovechkin.
Big win for him. for the grade 8.
Let's finish this segment with Best Female Athlete. The nominees are WNBA MVP Sylvia Fowles of the champion Minnesota Lynx, Olympic gold medalist and silver medalist skier Michaela Schifrin, Olympic halfpipe champ Chloe Kim, and 2017 U.S. Soccer Female Player of the Year Julie Ertz. Tony, you got one ESPY. Who?
I'm going to give it to Sylvia Fowles. I mean, I just think that she's a 4-time MVP of the league, right? So something like that. I mean, she's a great player. I would have thought going into the Olympics that it was going to be Michaela Schifrin. Michaela Schifrin talked about winning 5 gold medals.
See, that might have worked.
It worked against her.
The conversation.
So even though she won the World Cup, which is a great victory, and even though she has a gold medal, which is a wonderful thing, and I think gold medals in 2 successive Olympics, the expectations maybe she put on herself, she fell a little short of.
Maybe she put them on herself. Others did too. You know, this is the Michael Phelpsing of everything. We go into those Olympics and we start talking about the greatest number of medals you could possibly win, which seems to me to be unfair in these situations. Sylvia Fowles as well.
Yeah, because it's her 4th title in 7 years. I mean, she's the MVP of the league. She's the MVP of the playoffs. Let's take a break. When we come back, we'll review the nominees for Best Play. Where does Tua's touchdown pass rank?
And how about Jesse Warren's incredible double play in the College World Series just a couple weeks ago?
This is going very fast, and I feel like I'm shouting.
Okay, so quiet down. Pipe down.
I'm not good when I do that.
Half pipe down.
Welcome back to the PTI ESPY special. We've got 16 nominees for Best Play. We are ready to discuss the Stephon Diggs touchdown and the Notre Dame buzzer beater. So let's review the remaining 14. Roll it.
Roll it.
Philly special, a TD pass to Nick Foles in the Super Bowl.
That's a great pass.
Iconic.
In any decade, Tony. And it's going to wind up being one of the 3 finalists, don't you think?
It's number 1 for me, pretty much. Tua's 41-yard overtime touchdown pass to win the national championship.
Man, this is right up there as well.
That's 1A.
I don't know how you can keep those 2
Nick
out of the
Saban
final
went
3,
to the bench.
which means there's not a lot left here.
Florida State softball player Jesse Warren's diving double play in the Women's College World Series.
Yeah, the catch. People were like, well, the throw was, but no, the catch starts the whole thing. It was a nice play, but ain't going to crack the top 3.
LeBron James's buzzer-beating 3-pointer to beat the Pacers in the first round of the playoffs.
LeBron's got several plays which may be mentioned, Tony, but this one, I mean, the Pacers should have beat the Cavaliers, right?
Evanston Township High School freshman Blake Peters hits an 80-foot buzzer beater.
You know I'm partial toward Evanston Township because you know what else is there?
Northwestern.
Thank you very much. Not Bingham. That's a great play. Look at the mob scene. Somebody's going to get hurt.
Gareth Bale's bicycle kick goal in the Champions League final.
I often say, and this was
high school kids.
Real Madrid beating Liverpool last month. I often say every high school kid can do it.
Yes.
Not in that circumstance, Tony. Champions League.
Cristiano Ronaldo's bicycle kick goal against Juventus.
And this was, of course, in last year's Champions League final.
Not even the best bicycle kick.
Or you could have a special category.
Best bicycle kick. Ardsley High School's Julian McGarvey makes a last-second steal and then heaves it to win the sectional title.
That's 2 plays, the steal and the heave. Tony, these are high school kids. They got to wait their turn. You got to wait, kids. Sorry.
LeBron's floater off glass to beat the Raptors in round 2.
Give me the LeBron best play. Which one?
Let me just say this
Pacers
about LeBron.
or this?
This just in. LeBron
Pacers or
is
Toronto?
Good. He's a good player. Look at him. Team USA's Jocelyn Lamoureux Davidson, shootout winner to win the Olympic gold medal.
That's a crossover for you.
That's great.
You can have crossover on hardwood or on ice. Unbelievable.
Beat the big rival, but it's a shootout. The Greek Freaks leapfrog dunk over Tim Hardaway Jr.
It's a dunk.
It's a dunk.
You've got to learn to say Antetokounmpo.
I can say
try it
next year. Antetokounmpo. Oh, John McEnroe. I can say
liked
that.
it.
This acrobatic high school volleyball play by Autumn
Look at that
of
dive.
Decatur, Georgia.
You know what?
High school.
I know it's high school. You got to wait, kiddies, but that is a tremendous play.
It's great. It is, but it's high school again. William Carlson of the Golden Knights going through his legs for the goal.
If there was a golden goal for the season in the NHL,
great goal.
That would be it.
It is a great goal. It's not number 1. And finally, Michigan's Jordan Poole hitting this buzzer beater to send Michigan to the Sweet 16.
Michigan could have been out.
Should have been out
of the first 2 games.
Should have been out.
Not
got to the
my final 3 though. Philly, Bama, LeBron against the Pacers. Those are my 3.
So to me, it's simply a final 2.
Who
and
is
it's
it?
the first two. It's Foles and it's Alabama. The Alabama play actually wins the championship.
That's right.
So for me, that vaults a little bit. That's it. That's the list. Let's take one last break, but still to come. The Eagles won the Super Bowl, but should they bring home the ESPY for best team?
Or should it go to a team that Tony has ripped for years and is now kissing up to the Washington Capitals? We'll decide between them and 5 of the nominees next.
I'm going to vote my own best self-interest. And I think you know where that's going.
You crushed him. You crushed him.
I did for years, but
choking
that's
dogs.
gone. Yes.
Choking dogs, you call the Capitals.
Yes. Let's cap off this show with an award they should give to me and Pablo.
Who?
Best team. The nominees are the World Series champion Houston Astros, the Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles, the gold medal winning U.S. women's ice hockey team, NCAA women's tournament champions Notre Dame, men's tournament champions Villanova, the NBA champions Golden State Warriors, and the Stanley Cup winning Washington Capitals. Which one was the best team, Mike?
This is hard, Tony. I mean, I'm not going to be a homer like you and just jump on the Capitals, even though they deserve it.
They deserve it.
The Warriors 3 times in 4 years. Villanova. How about Arike Ogunbowale hitting those 2 shots in the
Back
Final
to back.
Four? It's insane.
Yeah, that is.
All of them are worthy. But I'm going to go with the Houston Astros, Tony. They beat the Blue Bloods, all the teams you love, the Sox, the Yanks, and the Dodgers.
You're right.
They took them out one by one. The Houston Astros don't get nearly enough credit for having an all-time great team.
I'm not going to denigrate any of these teams. For me, I consider the Eagles because it's the first time they've won in a million years in
And their
football.
first Super Bowl.
And they were underdogs in every single playoff game playing with a second-string quarterback. I love Villanova. They crushed teams in this tournament.
They did.
They won many games
Seriously,
by
plus
more
20.
than 20. I mean, they were really good. I am going to go with the Capitals for a very significant reason, just personally for me. I ripped them as choking dogs for a lot of years because they were choking dogs. They slayed every dragon that was out there. They were down 0-2 at home in the
playoffs.
first. They had to go win on the road in Game 7 in Tampa. They beat Pittsburgh. And then they beat Marc-Andre Fleury, who had knocked them out. So for me, it's going to be the Washington Capitals.
The Capitals they finally slayed the dragons that had tormented them.
Yeah.
And I think that sort of it cleanses and it makes the championship run all that much better. And I would never argue against the Capitals in that way. But the Houston Astros,
they're great.
You know what? They're going to have to do it again and be the subject of more, lavishing of ESPY praise on them before people give them credit.
The point you made about who they beat, that matters. I mean, like, for example, Golden State, they're great. They beat a depleted team this year. You know, the Cleveland team. Yeah, but the Astros went out there and the Astros beat the Red Sox and the Yankees and the Dodgers. I mean, that makes a big deal. And in the back of my mind, the Notre Dame thing, that's stunning. That's stunning. 2 back-to-back buzzer
shots. Difficult shots to win those games. And she's not a prolific three-point shooter, but those shots were And
you got to beat Connecticut to win all of these things. Couple of errors. Gerard Phelan, of course, caught Doug Flutie's famous touchdown pass. My feet were in the end zone. And while the Minnesota Lynx have won 4 WNBA titles in the last 7 years, Sylvia Fowles has won 2 and 1 MVP. But I stand by my ESPY vote, all right? Let's go to the big finish as we run out of the show. Best NFL players: Tom Brady, Todd Gurley, Antonio Brown, or Aaron Donald.
Is that a trick question?
No.
The Golden Boy, Tom Brady. Come on, you know you can't go against him there. Best Major League Baseball player: Aaron Judge, Jose Altuve, Mike Trout, or your boy Max Scherzer.
I love Max Scherzer, but it's Jose Altuve this year. Batted .346. He had 204 hits, and he won. And he won. Best NBA player: James Harden, LeBron James, Anthony Davis, or the Greek Freak?
Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Yes.
I know Harden's the MVP. LeBron James is the best player.
And has been.
Best NHL player: Ovechkin, Crosby, Connor McDavid, or Marc-Andre Fleury.
You have to look at it through the prism of the Stanley Cup. And this year, it's Alexander Ovechkin.
That's right.
Last one, the big one, best bowler: Jason Belmonte, Rhino Page, Tom Smallwood, or your boy Jeff Svensson.
It's a guy who, at age 5, rolled a 179, Mr. Belmonte.
We're out of time. We'll try and do better the next time. I'm Tony Kornheiser.
I'm Mike Wilbon. You can watch the actual ESPYs, hosted by Danica Patrick, on July 18 at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central on A.
Now I'm going to go to Chatter, where I'm going to be a waiter in a maitre d'.